Maria Walker up. Mark, you're gonna pray tonight.
We got in trouble, that's why he's calling us.
And Vince has something right over there I want to show you. That is this lady. And tell them what you're doing.
Yes, I became an American citizen on Friday. And now I can go for a passport.
On behalf of the Wilmore City Council and the Mayor's Office, I'd like to present you a key to the city. And I'd like to present you a 250th coin from the county, gold on both sides. Wilmore's is not gold on both sides. But also a Wilmore 150, 250 coin. And say thank you and welcome. You've been a citizen of our town for a long time. Now you're legal.
Now I'm not an alien anymore.
You're not an alien. And this man prays well, so I'm just gonna ask him to.
Just for a second, that judge that swore her in, he's a Wilmorian. He grew up here.
He is, he went to this
here,
school right here.
And his dad was a seminary professor here.
You know that I was the
That's
only.
great, fantastic.
Yeah, I was the only one who got a comment of the 33 who had to stand up, say their name, their country of origin, and where they live now. So when I said Wilmore, he said, that's where I grew up.
That's where he grew up and went to this school.
Yeah.
So would you join us in our pledge, our flag, and our invocation? And Maria's gonna lead us in our pledge tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Lord and Heavenly Father, we thank you again this evening for this town in which we are able to live, and privileged to live. We ask you for wisdom and understanding the way, the path that lies ahead of us. And Heavenly Father, that we would always learn to live together. Amen.
Thank you.
By the way, it's all your fault that we are here. You know that. He got our daughter Kathleen to come back to Africa.
She's a wonderful teacher.
And we came forward to help her on this road.
Those are good.
Thank you so much.
And we're glad you came. If you all will permit me the permission to go out of order tonight. If you had a daughter playing in the state tournament or regional tournament, district tournament, will be regional, will be state. But she's here tonight, but she's the budget person. But her daughter's playing ball tonight, and she needs to be there. So with permission of the council, I would like to move to the budget and have that introduced first. And Lori, if you have any introductory comments, we'll take those. If not, we'll go with the motions that are the ordinances that are here.
Well, I sent the email from the work sessions that we had, just letting you all know how the budget was adjusted from those meetings. And I mean, I don't need to read through all this, but from what you all saw in the work sessions to what is presented now in the ordinance, the governmental budget is a favorable difference of $115,000, just the bottom line. And the proprietary was a favorable difference of $146,500.
I move we approve ordinance, I guess it's 126.3.
Second discussion. This is a first reading, takes two readings. So you've had a motion moved and second. All in favor of the approval of the first reading indicate by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, you want to speak to the amending tonight, Lori?
It was minimal for governmental, favorable difference of $7,200, and unfavorable proprietary was $110,000, but it was still within the budget that was originally approved. We just shifted some things around.
accept the ordinance 2026-2 for the amendment of the 25-26 budget.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Approval of first reading, please indicate by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bye, Lori.
Thank you, all you look best.
Hope you win.
Me too, it's against East.
As we begin tonight, you may have seen a little post on this, but Nicholasville and Wilmore both won the Best Downtown Award, Channel 36, CBC News. They were here last week, and the question was asked, tell me about all your new businesses. Well, I didn't have a lot of new businesses to tell them about. But tell me about all the new stuff you've done downtown. They were very, noticed that a lot, the sidewalks, the flowers, the baskets above, the trees, the banners, all those things. So both of those had input into this, and so while it's just a plaque on a wall, it's a plaque on a wall. And somebody recognized that, and thank you for all those who put work and initiative into this to make that happen. In fact, Judy's out tonight planting flowers in some of those areas with a new club, the Wilmore Flower Club has been organized to plant more flowers. And they're doing that tonight. And Judy was telling us today about learning to drive the water truck that waters those. Jeff was telling us how the seat's worn out, so you sit way down in the bottom and she has to look through the steering wheel, so we gotta get her a cushion so that she does that. And one more note of just personal, for the last couple of months, beginning in February with Restaurant Month, that was Donna's initiative to do that. We've continued with anybody that spends $150 in Wilmore and brings receipts by, we give them a key to, not a key, but a little coin of the city, 150. So the idea is spend 150, get a 150 coin. Well, we had 2 last week that came, but one of those spent $1,383 in a month.
Whoa.
In Wilmore, of which 6 times to the stores, included a facial for $140 in Wilmore, sub sandwiches, groceries, dollar store, shades of bluegrass and shell, and they wanted 9 coins. We gave them 9 coins. I'm glad to give those coins. It's a $3 investment for you to spend $150 in Wilmore. But I hope the businesses, I called Erin, she was so appreciative that they had spent $821 of that at Marketplace this month. So if we had more people that would spend $800 at Marketplace, we'll keep Marketplace. So I encourage you to keep doing that and do those things that you've been doing. Well, Kelly's not here for salute to service, so that takes an hour off the agenda. We'll pick that up at another meeting, but just to tell you that we're 4 weeks out, a lot going on. Last night they had a Zoom meeting that lasted 4 hours to begin to put the final schedule together. We had a 2-hour meeting last Thursday. We had another meeting Wednesday, 2 of them, morning and afternoon, and then one on Thursday. So we're down to crunch time, a lot happening. I want to also thank Mark for stepping up and picking up the volunteers. It started with, we need a few volunteers to put up a wall, and then all of a sudden we need volunteers for this, 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 and this. Now he's got spreadsheets this big and recruiting volunteers. And so we're doing something, I think, that I hope the community appreciates it. We're bringing 8 probably young men from the jail in Nicholasville to work the entire event. They'll be under supervision, and they'll help put the wall up, and Sunday morning take it down, and be here the whole time and help with other things. Now, in addition to that, we need another 50 volunteers to put everything together. So if you have any time that you want to do something from write cards to park cars, we need help. like to move down to the agenda. The regular meeting was May 4th, and those minutes have been circulated to you. Are there any corrections to be noted to those? Not a motion's in order to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Question, all in favor, please indicate by aye.
Aye.
Okay, we've done, 2 and 3, let's move to 1. Resolution 2026-5, a resolution of the city of Wilmore accepting the grant, approving the grant assistance agreement, authorizing the amendment of the city of Wilmore annual budget, authorizing the representative of the city to sign those documents. That's the same thing that we talked about to finish out the project. So it needs an authorization to take those 2 grants and that KIA loan and resolve that completion of that project that you've already done. But it takes this resolution before the council. Just need to authorize the mayor to sign it. Thank you.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor, please indicate.
Aye.
I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear. Okay, next 2 items are new. Council has not had a chance to review those as you would have the others. If you want to take action on those tonight, you can. Or you can defer those to the next meeting, but they were presented by the Wilmore Fire Department. And I think Assistant Chief's here. You want to speak to those?
It's from Brumfield, so he didn't like to see us on the agenda, because we usually cost everybody money. But I'm sure this one's free of charge. So there's a couple, so last year, we started our push to prepare for our ISO review that's gonna take place in 2027. So one of the areas we needed to make, some improvements was our community risk reduction. That's a growing section of ISO and growing requirements. And one of those, relates to pre-plan, for commercial buildings, which we're taking care of those. And then the other part of that is fire code enforcement. So last year we found out that the city adopted, I believe it was in 1974, the Kentucky Standards of Safety, which involves the NFPA 101 fire code. So the city's had a fire code, so we'll be able to show that now. But this ordinance would further the ability of the department to both inspect and enforce fire code within our commercial buildings. So currently, if I go out and do a fire code inspection, it's kind of on the honor system that they're gonna fix it. I can go back and re-inspect, and I can continue to re-inspect and re-inspect, but at the end of the day, there's no mechanism to force them to correct anything. So this ordinance would lay out the ability for the department to cite building owners who continue to fail to fix fire code violations. I've worked with some problematic areas already, and we've made some headway with those. But as we continue to build that fire code enforcement program in the means that ISO wants to see it, it's gonna have to involve some kind of mechanism where we can show forward progress in enforcing fire code within our buildings. So there's a graduated fee schedule in there. It's also important to know that the initial inspection does not carry any ability to cite a building owner for the initial inspection. Because the plan would be to go out, find these violations, work with the building owners, and get them corrected. The citations would come in place once it's kind of become obvious that there's not gonna be any action taken. So that's a common ordinance across most municipalities, is the fire department cites these individuals at some point. And if it continues further beyond that, it usually goes, to a city attorney. And then they have have to pursue whatever they have to pursue from that point. But currently, we don't have any mechanism to kind of force that hand of a building owner, so. And then the next ordinance would be that it would make it a local violation for a building occupant or owner to silence or reset an active fire alarm prior to our arrival. Just last week, I had a meeting about a pretty problematic one. We've come to an understanding that there's some middle ground we can meet on, so we're working with the state fire marshal's office to get that put in place. But an instance of this being a problem is we've had the Loose Center completely packed for an event with an active alarm that was reset before we got there or anybody took initiative to check to see if there was a fire. So when we got there, everybody was still in the building, continuing on about their day. And then we had to spend time and resources to evacuate the building so that we could figure out if there was a problem or not. Again, that's a common ordinance. It's not against fire code to do that. I don't know why. It seems like an oversight on those that write the code, but that's the way it is. So local municipalities have resulted to adopting ordinances to make that a violation, to reset it prior to investigation by the fire department. And those are both free of charge, Councilman Brookfield.
What is the penalty if you reset it? Oh, it's in there, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in there.
$250 to $1,000 for the first.
So is this commercial only?
Yes, yeah, the fire code doesn't apply to any single family residential. There's a small portion that applies to like apartments, but it's decks and patios. It's just areas that can be seen from the outside. It doesn't apply to the actual private residential spaces.
But it would to a dorm, wouldn't it?
It would to a dorm, yes.
And Mayor, I have reviewed both of them, and I'm fine with both if the council wants to act on
So currently you're doing all these inspections, but you can't enforce them, or would this be an additional level of work that fire department
So now if I go out,
employees would need to?
well, so not everybody, so there's only 2 of us on the department that are certified by the state fire marshal's office to inspect and enforce. So it would only be one of the 2 of us that can issue these. So we can go do inspections now and issue deficiency logs and have discussions with those property owners. But at the end of the day, if they don't wanna fix it, they just don't.
So are we already doing those inspections, or would this add additional time on our employees, on our fire department employees, hence a greater cost when it comes down to hours that our personnel are serving?
So I would be doing the inspections primarily, and I'm paid per call and a salary, a small salary. So it doesn't matter if I do 10 hours or 100 hours, my pay's the same. My interest is preparing for the ISO review that's coming up. So it's just gonna be boots on the ground.
It seemed like there was a lot, if we're not regularly hitting all of our buildings, it would be an additional period, amount of time, but you're saying that you would just add it to the work that you're doing and maybe do less calls or something like that?
I certainly wouldn't do less calls. That is, first and foremost, that is our responsibility. But it would just be additional work. I think, Chief Day was here a couple weeks ago, and he talked about, we're working chiefs. We train with the guys, we make runs with the guys, pre-plans, fire code inspections. It's all just part of the territory. So there should be, we're hoping to get it to where there's a inspection, kind of the standard is an inspection for every commercial property once a year. That's a big undertaking in Wilmore, especially with campus, the size that campus is. The good, kind of the flip side of that is we're at campus a lot already anyway. So a lot of times I will do walkthroughs and we're there making runs. Now it's not as not as thorough as it is on days I go not on a run. Cause I've got a truckload of guys, you know, sitting outside waiting on me. But yeah, it's just additional work that has to be done.
And the county doesn't have this requirement,
Yes,
but we're in the county,
no,
so they leave out any of this.
yeah, so the city.
Enforcement of code.
Yeah, the city of Nicholasville and the county fire department both have full-time fire marshals that take care of their jurisdictions. The state fire marshal, there's 12 deputies in the state of Kentucky, they're all assigned 10 counties. Their primary responsibility is state-owned property and any property licensed through the healthcare cabinet. So anything outside of that, they will come do it if you ask them, but they may or may not make it. And they're gonna come one time and they're gonna leave because they just don't have time.
Sure.
To
I
do,
need
you know,
to reach out to a couple when I do
Yeah.
when we were doing renovations.
Right.
How much capacity could we have?
Yeah.
for occupancy. And are we concerned about any of our older buildings downtown Wilmore
Yes.
passing? And would that be an additional cost on our landlords? I mean, I think it's an important cost, I'm just curious because we've got a lot of very old buildings in our town.
There are, but the fire code applies based on the year that the building was built. So like, I can't go in to Los Altos if I can put in a sprinkler system. Like that's, you can't do that.
Sure.
That's all required during building code enforcement. So once it's an existing building, then it falls on fire code. And that does not apply, so fire code doesn't determine when a building has to have a sprinkler system or a hood system. That's all handled by building inspections. So if there's a change in an occupancy, like someone took the granary and turned that into a restaurant, that would be a change in occupancy. So then there would be requirements for hood systems and things like that, but that would all be through the building code official. He determines what's required, and then once that building's up and running, then it becomes the fire department's responsibility to ensure that basic life safety code is maintained.
That's been super helpful, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? That was well done.
Thank you. Tell Josh next time you see him.
Council?
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-4, fire code enforcement citation authority ordinance.
Okay, you've heard the motion?
Second.
Heard the second? Is there further discussion? Again, it's first reading. All in favor of approval of 2026-4, 2026-5, first reading, please indicate by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next item is the reappointment of Pete Beatty to the Joint Planning Commission. Pete is on the front row. Pete may have something he wants to say. You're welcome to do so, but through an oversight of, ending April 30, he wasn't appointed back. And we would like to propose that he be appointed back, and it be retroactive to May 1st, to keep his continuing education and training and other units in place.
So moved.
Second.
Well, I guess you get to talk, baby.
I appreciate the letter he's.
Thank you. Now, I did try to enumerate in the letter some of the issues. Thank you. And I should tell you that today at 2 o'clock, I met over in Nicholasville, and being retired, you know, I don't have to worry about missing work, which is an advantage for me. And I met with Mr. Montgomery, who's our director, the assistant director, with John Horn. Some of you that are a little older would recognize that name from Horn Engineering. And then also Judge West came over for a few minutes. We were talking about future land uses in the county. You've seen some of the growth that's going on, especially in the 27 corridor. You know, there's a new Kroger area there. The Kroger's gonna move from Brandon Crossing over to 27. There's gonna be a lot of housing that's gonna be in that area of 27. And my hope is, first of all, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to serve with planning and zoning. It's been a joy for me these many years, and I'm grateful for that, and I thank you. And I'm hopeful then, in the next couple of months, as we get together with this future land use map, that I can come back and share with you what we're looking at and get your input as to what you would like to see happen in Wilmore. And it's been a while, so it'd be important for us to get your input into that process. So I'm really looking forward to that if you all allow me to continue.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there other discussion? All in favor, please indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, it's been a while.
Thank you.
That was a 5-year plan. It's now, what, 8 or 9?
I'm sorry, sir.
Well, I'm not blaming you, I'm just saying.
You know, it used to be when we were an entity unto ourselves, you know, we kind of, set up the schedule and so on, but now we're working with the city of Nicholasville. And, so we need to kind of give deference to their situation, and we add to that in terms of the comprehensive plan, which is a joint plan between Nicholasville, city of Wilmore, and Jessamine County. And you're absolutely right, it's been slow in terms of the progress, but, you know, hopefully we can get the show back on the road here. And that's one of the things that I was doing today at 2 o'clock to try to help facilitate that. I've been a part of a subcommittee of the update committee, and we're trying to get that rolling. I don't have a lot of control over that personally.
And not to make excuses for them, but the 5 years in this case hit right at the end of COVID. And that Jessamine is not the only county. I'm the attorney for Winchester-Clark County Planning Commission. We just approved our new comp plan last year, and I think it was 10 years old. And there's 1 or 2 counties that are going on nearly 20 years old. So that's inexcusable. But COVID pretty much universally knocked everybody off the ball on that matter.
Pete, it's not often we have people ask for their jobs.
Oh, listen,
That are
I'm thrilled.
volunteers.
I'm thrilled.
Thank you, thank you,
I
thank you.
appreciate it, I appreciate it.
Okay, moving to the next item. You all approved moving a 2014 Dodge to a pool at City Hall for the ladies to use. That didn't prove to be an efficient use of a vehicle by their own admission. It might get 8 miles a week, sits out there, draining insurance and value and et cetera. So, I put that back to, Police Chief Nelson Shrout. And, so we're requesting that we sell that car, because that was a car replaced, and just take that off of our account. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So moved. Second?
No, quick.
Oh, wow. A one-man show. I'll second his motion.
Okay.
So it sounds like we need discussion.
Yeah.
So it wasn't needed for admin, or was it just that it's an old squad car and maybe?
Well, the red light's on it,
As a,
it says engine light, and, they're very familiar with their own cars.
yeah,
If they're going to the post office, now the post office has moved to Nicholasville.
right.
So.
For how long do we know that?
Well, they said it'd be 2 to 3 weeks. We're on a month now.
Yeah, they,
I was just over in the Nicholasville post office seeing, and like 2 Wilmore folks came in to get their stuff, and they're like, do you know how long it's gonna be?
So it was just, Lori actually asked me to do that, and then came and said, I don't think that's gonna work. So, here's one of the users, that, it was just that, for no more than we use it, and it was basically go to the bank or the post office. That they do it on their way to lunch or on their way back, and it's much more efficient, and it's just a car sitting down there in the lot that is of little value and needs to be taken off of insurance. It's off insurance today, so.
I guess I was just trying to figure out if it was their lack of interest in using it, was the
No,
fact that it's
they-
more of a squad car as opposed to just a runner, part, but
I think
it
it's
sounds like
cheaper-
it's just not
Cheaper to
needed.
let her go to lunch and stop on her way
Just
back.
not needed. Okay, great.
If she's willing to do that, and they are, you know. So that's, you've had a motion, right? Or who was it? Ryle and Ryle?
Ryle, then I second his second.
Okay. All in favor of moving surplus property for sale, please indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Done. Any other items of business from the floor?
One question for our salute to service. When's the deadline for submitting letters? Do we have, there is no deadline, just get them in,
Just
okay.
keep bringing.
Okay, and two, if anybody watching is interested in volunteering, how do we contact Mark?
I'll let him tell you that.
Okay, great,
Or contact City Hall.
Okay.
And they can get the mark.
okay, great,
Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else? Council, anything else? Time to go eat, Jim.
Move we adjourn.
Good, man.